Hello everybody, this is Shirley with So Too We Begin Embroidery. Thank you for stopping by. Today I will be doing part 2 of my How to Be Fearless Hooping Cap series. I did part 1 and that is up on my channel now, and on that particular video I did embroidery this hat and another hat or cap using the Brother Flat Brim cap hooping system. And I wanted to see if there was a difference between a regular ball cap and the infamous Richardson 112 cap, trucker's cap, which is what I have on now. And I did not see a difference. So anyway, the next phase, which is now part 2, I will be embroidering on a bucket hat and a straw hat. And have to tell you, I was quite surprised with the bucket hat situation. I thought it was going to be a slam dunk, but it doesn't seem to be, that does not seem to be the case. It is more complicated than I had anticipated. But anyway, follow along, let's get started, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So what I have here is the bucket hat that I am going to embroider. Now, I initially thought, looking at the hat, that I was going to use my Durkee Easy Frame, which is what I do have it hooped on now. However, I'm the type of person that likes to do research, and since I had never done a bucket hat before, I decided to go ahead and see if I could find any videos or anything showing how other people have stitched or embroidered on a bucket hat. And I did. However, the concern or the issue that I encountered was the ones that I saw, and I saw 2 or 3 or 4 actually, and they all were using hat hooping systems, which makes plenty of sense. It didn't dawn on me. It has a brim and it has the crown. Why not put it on a hooping system and go ahead and hoop it out like a regular ball cap? So I decided, I unhooped it from the way I had it yesterday, which I'm glad I did because it wasn't the best way to do it. Put my hooping system back on my machine because I had taken everything off, put it away, put my regular A-arm back on, and was going to move forward. So I put the driver back on, I put my hat frame back on, all of that, and then I took my bucket cap over to the hat frame and tried to frame it. But what happened, what I discovered, was because I have the Brother Flat Brim hooping system that allows you to hoop it by clamping it together to the frame, is the upper frame and the lower frame, which you'll see what I'm talking about if you looked at my video part 1. Now, because of how the bucket hat is made, the sides were in the way of the slots that you had to put the upper frame into, and it was no way that I could figure out how to hoop it on that particular hooping frame. Now I got the roundness, which I was happy, and it was smooth and everything, but then when it came down to closing the deal and clamping it down so it could be tightened, it didn't work. So that didn't work. So I kept looking, and I did finally find someone that actually hooped on a bucket hat with a regular 2-piece hoop that you get with your machines, and I think they did it on a single needle machine, which was fine. So when I looked at it, the hoop that they used was the smallest one. It was the 2 by whatever, which probably made sense. I don't know, but I wanted it to be a little larger than what that particular hoop is. But I was going to go ahead and do it. But unfortunately, I couldn't find another piece. I only found the top piece and not the bottom piece. So I was out of luck with that. So then I had to go back to my initial decision, and that was the Durkee frame. So basically what I'm saying is, You can either use a regular hoop like you get with your machine, whether it's a single needle or a multi-needle, the smallest hoop that comes with it, and you'll have a small space, a small circumference or area that you can stitch on, which this is also going to be small as well. It's not going to be that large. Not as large as I had hoped. You can use that, or you can use a Durkee frame. Now I am using the 5x4 Durkee frame, and because I really wanted to get a larger area, and I could get a larger area going horizontal, but not so much vertically, because I put this on my machine and I did the tracing, and I'm not comfortable again with anything that may potentially touch the edges, and because of that I had to reduce my design. And when I get this over here to the machine, I'll tell you exactly what the dimensions are. But what I did, of course, using the Durkee Easy Frame, you use a tearaway stabilizer. Now the first thing I did is to go underneath here, and I pinned back my sweatband so you can see the pins in here. And that's not going to get in the way because I'm not going below this line, the stitch. But I pinned back the sweatband to make sure I don't catch it. The other thing I did was to get more of a flat surface. I'm sticking it on the sticky stabilizer, but I also smoothed it out with the clamps. So, and I put this on my machine to see if it was going to work, and I did the tracing and everything, so it will work. So that's how I'm hooping my bucket hat. I'm going to take it to the machine, get all of the thread parameters set up. I'm going to trace it again, and then I'll go ahead and stitch it out, and we'll see how the bucket hat turns out. But that is my solution to embroidering on a bucket hat, especially if you have the Brother Easy, the flat, can't think of it, the Brother flat brim hooping system, because that does not just clamp over like the rest of them. The rest of them just clamp over and is tightened. This one actually has to go down into a slot. If I had the regular hat system or the Hoop Tech Gen-Tech system or any of those kinds where you just simply bring it over and it tightens without having to go into the slots, then I would have been able to put it on a regular hooping system and stitch it out just like a ball cap. So let's get started over here to the machine and see how it is going to stitch out, and I'll see you over there. Okay, I have it set up on my machine. I have my threads selected, and the dimensions are 1.67 inches tall and 3.0 inches wide. So a little more than 1.5 inches tall and right at 3 inches wide, which I think is a pretty good size for this bucket hat. So the only thing I do, like I said, my fingers are crossed. I always have concerns when I am using an aftermarket frame. My sweatband is taped out the way, so that isn't an issue. The clamps are sitting on the frame itself, so it should not be in the sewing field at all. And I have it smoothed out pretty good, so that part should be okay. And of course I am using sticky stabilizer. So, and I have it at a speed of 400 stitches per minute because I don't like to do it fast, especially when I'm using the Durkee frame, Easy Frame. So fingers crossed, I am going to go ahead and hit the button and see where we are. So it's going to stitch down at the lowest level down here. So we'll see how that's going to go. Well, let me think. I almost made a mistake. I need to rotate this. So I'm so glad that I was being cautious and thinking about it, because when I looked at it, it didn't make sense to me. So I'm going to go back up out of here, and I'm going to cancel it, and I have to rotate it, and I have to turn it completely upside down. Now we are in business. So let me go ahead and do the thread color, and then I'll get back with you. Okay, I rotated it, and now it makes sense looking at it visually. That is one thing that you have to remember, like I was stating on part 1 about the hats. When you're using a certified brother hoop and you put it on your machine, the machine automatically recognizes that hoop as being a brother hoop, and it will do what it's supposed to do, and it will flip your design. You don't have to flip it. However, if you're using any aftermarket hoop at all, period, you have to remember to flip your hoop. And number 2, most importantly, you have to trace, and trace to make sure everything is going to fit within the stitching field and you don't hit any of the frame. So let me get started, and hopefully there will be no issues here. Well, it looks like it's fitting within the parameters. This is at the lowest point and this is at the highest point. So I think it's going to be okay. So I'm going to go ahead and let it stick out, and we'll see the end result. What I am doing is stopping the machine after each one, which I didn't realize I was going to have to, because I'm cutting these jump stitches so it doesn't get stitched over. So because of that, it's going to take a little longer, but I don't want these jump stitches stitched over to mess up my design. So after each color, I'm stopping it and cutting out the jump stitches. Well, the bucket hat is complete, and this is how it looks. Really cute. I'm going to get it cleaned up with getting the rest of the jump stitches out, take it off of the hoop, and go from there. So this is part 1. This is the first part of part 2, doing the bucket hat. The next part will be doing the straw hat, and I will have both of these done. And yeah, I think it looks pretty good here. So there we have it, the bucket hat. Hello summer, with the cute little flowers. I think it's adorable. I really like it. Looks like I got it centered pretty good. That was the one thing I was concerned about. And I would like to have been able to come down further this way. You know, I wanted to use all the real estate. That's just how I am. I like big, but that's not possible without having a true hat hoop. At least I hadn't figured it out. But anyway, that is the bucket hat. And I'll put it on in a little bit. So now I'm getting ready to start on the straw hat. And I was looking for a visor. I had a white visor somewhere. Don't know where it is. I looked for it because someone asked me last night on the live about doing a visor, which I've never done. And that will have to be done on a hat hoop as well. But I've not done it, and I couldn't find the visor that I know I have somewhere. So I may get a visor at some point and do it, but that won't happen today. So I'm going to do this hat. And as I was looking, I had forgotten about I have a whole hat box full of straw hats. I didn't need to buy one. I found this one, which is really cute. And I'm going to do both of them. So I will have 2 straw hats. So that will be part 2 of the part 2 series. So let me get started with the Embrilliance software, where I'm going to have 2 designs because I'm doing 2 hats. See you over there. Here I am with my bucket hat on. Hello, summer. It's cute. That is how it looks, how it turned out. I think it did pretty good. Okay, let me show you what I have to work with in doing the straw hats. As you can see, I have 2. I found this one in my closet. Didn't realize I had a whole hat box full of straw hats. So I pulled this one out. I have several more in there. But I like this one a lot. I like the color and everything. And this is the one that I purchased to do initially. So I'm going to do this one and this one. And I'm going to be using the Durkee Fast Frame. This is the arm that goes onto the PR 1055X machine. And I'm going to be using the 7x5, 7 inches by 5 inches Durkee frame, and of course my sticky stabilizer. So that is what I will be using for this particular project. So now I'm going to go over to my laptop and get on Embrilliance and show you how to set up the designs. So I am now on Embrilliance, and this is my 5x7 hoop. As you know, you go into the preference icon and select your hoop, which is 180 millimeters by 130 millimeters equals 7x5. You select it. I had to rotate it to be horizontal. You hit OK and you have it. And you know, you can zoom in and out. You can use your slider on the side, or you can use the roller on your mouse. Now I'm going to go in here, and the first thing you have to do, which I forgot to tell you while we were looking at the hats, you have to get the circumferences of your hat in order to know the measurements. The circumference of my hat, the outer brim, or the largest brim, is a circumference of 15 inches. And the head part, the inner circle, which your head goes into, has a circumference of 7 inches. And the inches from the 7-inch circumference out to the edge of your 15-inch circumference, or the brim of the hat, equals 4 inches. So those are the numbers that you have to have. Now both hats that I have measure the same. That's a standard size unless you have a larger brim straw hat. So first thing I do is go into the application, which is, well, go into the merge design icon, click on it, go down to application shapes, which I have, go here to circle and click OK, and you will get a circle. Now this is set up for an applique, but of course we're not going to do applique. So the first thing you do is left click to convert your stitches, then go over to your object pane and hit the plus sign so all of the parts will come out. Click on applique and delete. Click on material and delete, and it leaves nothing but the running stitch. Now you select it so you can go into your sizes, and mine is always set on inches, and you change it to 15 inches, which would be your circumference for the hat. And let me delete that because I forgot I hadn't changed my, well, I didn't have to go and do all of that. Let me put this back. There we go, back here. I have to put this back on lock because I unlocked it to do the entire design. But this is usually locked. Your little icon right here is locked. So since it's locked, I'll go over here, and when I put in 15, then you're going to get a large circle which represents your hat, the large brim of your hat. Now I always have a problem with duplication because for some reason it doesn't show up the way I like for it to show up. So I'm just going to go and select another circle, bring it in. Easier for me. And if you were able to copy and paste, that works the best because that way you don't have to go through the conversion and all of that I'm doing now. But I'm doing it the way that I know it works without any issues. So I go in here, and now I have it, and I go in here and I put 7 inches in here. So what this has created is your hat. This is the outer brim. This is the inner circle where your head goes in. So as you can see, it looks like a hat. Now don't worry about it being larger than your 5x7 hoop, because we're not using any of this. This is just to get your shape. So then the next thing you do is go back into your merge preferences and into your applique and select the square. Click on it. Right click, convert to stitches. Go over here, get rid of the applique. Get rid of the material, and then come back over here, come back over here, and now I need to unlock. So I've selected the square, I go here, I unlock. Now because I want my horizontal to be 15 inches, the width of your hat, sorry, I know that was too big, 15 inches, there we go. That is the circumference of the hat, and you want your vertical to be 4 inches, which is the width of the hat. Now you're going to take this and you're going to grab it and you're going to move it down to the bottom of your hat, because what we're doing, we're creating an area that has a curve where we're going to be able to put the wording here. So once we have done that, then I need to select all of this, and actually it's an area over here where you can select all. And once you have selected all, then I'm going to take this whole design and move it up to the bottom of my 5x7. Now I need to center it. I need to go in here, align and distribute, go to center, apply, and everything is centered. Now I have created what I need. Make it big so you can see. I have created this area here in order for me to put my wording or whatever it is that I'm going to do. So the next thing you do is hit the A, which brings down the alphabet. Now I take that and move it down close to the edge. You don't want to go all the way down to the edge, but it's close to the bottom as you want it to be. Now you're going to go in here and put whatever your phrase is going to be. And I know on one of mine I have fun in the sun or something. Anyway, whatever I have. I'll just put fun in the sun. That's not what I have, but that's your phrase. And you're going to have this inside your hoop area, your hat area. Well, actually the hoop area. Now, decide what font you want. This is block. I'm not going to use block. Let me do 2 inches on Fun in the Sun and see if that's going to work, if I can get it small enough. I don't know. I might have to take some of this out. So, or either I can do the spacing and see if it fits. And if you're not familiar with Embrilliance, that excuse me, if you're not that familiar with Embrilliance, down here in your properties where you have your color, your letters, your stitches, and your notes, excuse me, here you write your text, whatever you want it to be. Here you select your font, whatever you want that to be, and then you can select a style. And I am so sorry, my throat is getting itchy. Might be for this smoke that's out here in the excuse me for a minute. Sorry about that. I'm back. So as I was saying, here's your style, which you select normal, or you can have vertical, or you can have square left, all of those things. So put it back on normal. And here you can do slants, however you want to slant it, or you can do spacing, make it space. So I hit the spacing to make it smaller so it would fit into my hoop. And so now I'm going to go here, and you see this this icon right here allows you to be able to do multiple lines. This allows you to do only one line, and this allows you to do circles or curves. So I'm going to select that, and then I'm going to say place on bottom, and as you can see, you automatically get a curve. So that is how you're going to do your curve, and you're going to select that how you want it to fit into your on your hat. Now you have this radius line here where you're able to adjust how much curvature you want. You can have it almost flat, or you can have it all up in the air, or however you want it. It's your personal preference, but however you think is going to look best for your for your design and your taste. So that's how pretty much you do it. Let me do my spacing because I would not want my letters that far apart. Word space. There we go. Word space. And I'm trying to move the whole thing. Got to select it all, and then you can move it. Sometimes I can get it right away and sometimes I can't, but anyway, here we go. Move it more centered or however you want it. And that's pretty much how you do it. So the next thing you want to do, let me make it smaller so you can see it. Next thing you want to do is select. Now I select over here this icon, or you can drag a square around. But I select this icon over here that say select all, and I am going to unlock everything. I had everything locked, now I'm unlocking. So that way I can delete each one of these one at a time. This one, and this one. So now you have your design. Hit your cross up here at the top and center it, and you have your design shaped and ready for your hat to go on. You save it. I'm not going to save it, but you can hit save as working file, and if you save this as your working file, well, maybe I will save it that way. I don't have to, because I don't want to save it there. Where do I want to save it? I want to save it in my anyway, I'm not going to save it because I've already gotten my file. So save it. I can save it onto my USB stick. I'm not going to do that, but that's it. That's how it's done. And hopefully this is self-explanatory. You can review this over again, but this allows you to have your design ready to curve on your hat. Now what I'm going to do now is go to my, I'm going to hoop the hat, and then I'm going to put it on the machine, and then we're going to go ahead and stitch it. Okay, I have the hat on here hooped, and I have to say, if there is a hard part, is learning how to set it up in your software, and I showed you how to set it up in Embrilliance. I don't know any other software to demonstrate, but once you understand how to set it up, then that goes pretty quickly, because I did it a couple of times just to make sure I remember the steps. The next part, of course, is hooping it, and I have it hooped on my 5x7 Durkee Easy frame, sticky stabilizer. I have the clips on the bar so they're not going to get hit because they are on the bar, and I've already traced it, so it should be fine without any issues. I did have to do a little size adjustment on the machine itself. I have my colors assigned. It's only 2 colors. It's going to be, the lettering is going to be black, and then the sun, of course, is going to be yellow. Hello Sunshine. And I do have the hand up for it to stop when it's done with Hello Sunshine, because if there's any jump stitches or anything that needs to be clipped before doing the sun, I want to make sure that I get that done. And I'm going to have it on the 400 stitches per minute. It is, well, it says 28 minutes, but hopefully that's fine. The other thing is, and I didn't do it, so I'm going to have to take this. I don't want to take it off because that was hard. That was the hardest part, was to get it underneath the needle part. This hat, because you got to get the crown of the hat underneath it and everything. And it's just like anything that's bulky. And then hopefully it's not going to rub or scrub or do anything that's going to damage the hat. So I don't think so. These straw hats are very pliable and flexible, so everything should bounce back in shape. Now they recommended using the 9014 needle, and I forgot that, and I didn't put it in. And let me see. I might be able to get it in with the hat on, because I really don't want to have to take this hat off until I'm done with it, because getting it back there is not easy. So I'm going to see if I can get my 9014 needle in my number 1 and my number 7. Those are the two colors that I'm using. And if it looks like it's going to be an issue, then I won't do it. But then I'll be back with you when I get my needles changed. Well, I don't have any more 9014s. I thought I had several more, but I got to buy some more. I don't have any more 9014s. So I'm going to have to go with my 7511 and hope the needles don't break or anything like that. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get started on the project. Now the one thing to be aware of is the fact that when you're stitching on these straw hats, you are going to have some thread slippage because of the ridges, all of these ridges and stuff. A lot of times the thread is not going to go through that like it's supposed to. And one way of rectifying that is maybe with the 9014 needle if you have it, or color it over with black fabric marker, which is what I will do if I have that issue. So that is one thing to be aware of. From what I see right now, it looks like some registration issues, and it definitely has some skipping. So I'm not really happy with the way that it is stitching on here. So that is something to be mindful of when you're doing these straw hats. I stopped the machine because I don't like the way it is stitching out with this 7511 needle. I have to see if I can find a better needle, because I'm hoping the 9014 will stitch better if I could find it, if I can find one. So I'm gonna look some more and see what I can find, and then if I can find it, then I'm going to stitch over what I've already stitched. So I found some denim needles which are 116, and I put them in with the hope that that's going to help, since I didn't have a 9014. So it's a bigger needle, and let's see. Right now, I know it's double stitching, so it looks like it's doing better, and that might be my solution. If not, I'll just double stitch the whole thing so it'll look better. But I think it's looking a little better than it was a few minutes ago. So we shall see how this is going to turn out on this hat as far as how the stitching is looking. But just keep that in mind that because of the fabric, the woven straw hat, you may not get the look that you're looking for. And I do know that there was a little registration issue, because I see a stitch that looks out of place, but I think it's going to be salvageable. We shall see. Well, I can tell now that I'm going to have to stitch over this again and then use my fabric marker. I don't think it is an issue with the machine. I think it's an issue with the fabric of the hat and the way it is woven. I got this hat out of Walmart, so I don't know. I'll see how my other hat stitches, because I think it's a little bit more expensive hat than this one, and hopefully it does better, but we shall see. But I'm not liking the way this is skipping, the way it's skipping on this particular fabric. So I'm going to finish it, because I'm going to stitch over it twice, and then, like I said, use the fabric marker to fill in the spaces and everything. And maybe later on I'll get another hat that is, maybe the fabric is a little different or something. I don't know how to rectify this. But I do know that it was already stated that with this type of material, you can definitely have some skipping. And you're going to get that because it's not flat material. But I do highly recommend that you use a 9014 needle, at least a 9014 needle, on your straw hat to get the best result as possible. And if you can get one that has less of the ridges that are raised, then maybe you'll get a better result as well. But I'm going to go ahead and let this stitch out. I'm going to stitch over it twice, and then I'll fix it up with the fabric marker, and we'll see what the end results look like. Well, I went over it twice. It looks a lot better. I still need to do the black marker. My machine does not like stitching this hat. I had wiper timer sensor errors several times stitching this hat, so I'm pretty sure it's the material. I'm going to have to take the needle plate off and clean it out and everything, and get whatever lint or whatever is down there that caused the issue. But as soon as this is done with this initial part, I'm going to stop and take it off the machine, clean it up, when I get ready to do the next one, I think it's going to stitch better because it's a different material. We shall see how that works. But anyway, this is the end of this. I'm not going to do the little sun rays. I don't think that's necessary. So this is the hat. And it is difficult to get under there. Difficult. I'm going to pull it out. Okay, there we go. So as you can see, it was a lot under there. But anyway, this is what it looks like. I'm going to clean it up and see how it looks when I get it all cleaned up. So here's my hat. That's how it looks. Kind of break it down a little bit. Style in it. I used to be the hat lady. Don't wear hats that much anymore, but just want to show you the finished product. I think it turned out better than I thought it was going to be, so not so bad. So now I'm going to do the brown one. If I wanted to be so dramatic, that's how it looks. But I do have it for the side. But anyway, just wanted to make sure that you can see it. Well, I got on my other cap. Just wanted to let you see that one, how it looks on my head. And now I am going to do the brown straw hat. I have it on the machine, and I forgot to clean the needle plate out, so hopefully I don't have any issue. If not, I'm gonna have to stop it, take that off, and do all of that. But anyway, we shall see. So this is straw hat number 2. I have everything set up, so fingers crossed I'm not gonna have any issues, and we will get started. I'm using gold thread. I think it'll be okay. Actually, it looks like it is stitching better on this particular hat. I chose the gold thread because I didn't want it to be out there in your face, but I think it's going to be fine. It looks better. It's stitching better, a lot better. So I'm not sure if it's the font or the material. But this material on this hat has the same straw hat ridges, but it's more pliable. It's not as hard as the other one is. And that may have a lot to do with how it's stitching. And this is a 90-40 needle because I already had it in on my number 3 needle where my gold thread was for when I did the trucker hat, the Richardson 112 hat. So it looks like it's doing a much better job. So I'm happy. Well, the hat is completed. I did it in gold. I like the way it looks. It doesn't jump out at you, and it's stitched perfectly. It is way better than the white one. I don't know what was going on with the white one. The white one does look okay. I didn't really have to use a lot of fabric marker, and it just did not stitch as smoothly as this one did on here. So I'm going to go ahead and take it off and clean it up, and I'll meet you over here at the table. So I have my 2 hats. This one and this one is with the gold on it, And as you can see, it doesn't stand out loud, and I didn't want it to be loud. I wanted it to be very subtle, but I love it. It stitched out really well. I didn't want black or brown, dark brown, anything. I like the gold. I used the same color bobbin, so I got to get all of this sticky stabilizer out of here, then you won't hardly see anything. And as far as this white one, I have to tell you, my mistake. So I'm telling you guys for correction, and I'm going to get another hat from Walmart or somewhere, another white straw hat. I forgot to put the topper on here, like you put over your water-soluble topper. That was suggested and recommended, and that would have made these stitches so much better. I'm almost positive of that. So, because I forgot, and this is not the look that I really like, I think I'm going to redo it, use the topper, and see what the difference is. However, keep in mind, going forward, when you're doing your straw hat, do not forget to use the water-soluble topper, and hopefully you won't have to do a redo. But anyway, that's the two hats, and I'm quite pleased with how the brown one turned out. Definitely. The white one could have been better. If I had used the water-soluble, it would have been perfect, but I didn't do it, so it is what it is. But it still looks fine. And I wanted to point out the fabric markers. If you've never seen them or heard of them or whatever, I got these off of Amazon. And you see all the different colors. And I've used a couple of them in different embroidery that I've done, where there was some skips or something. And it's recommended that you do get the fabric markers, and they're permanent. So this is what I got. Let's see if I got the box. And I'll put this on in the description below in case you're interested in getting some and just have it on hand. I don't remember what it cost. It wasn't very expensive. But anyway, that's what it is. So here I am in my brown sun hat with my gold on the side. Subtle. Didn't want it to be anything that just stood out and slapped you in the face. I'm satisfied with it because I don't wear hats that often anymore. I used to. But this is a cute little sun hat that I probably will wear. And if you didn't see it, it says, I am so S-E-W chill. I am so chill. And so this probably will be my sun hat. And wearing the caps and stuff, I don't do that too much. I'll have to fix the brim to be a little cuter. I kind of cock my hat to the side. That's kind of how I'm used to doing it. But I don't want this under here showing. So I might have to go the opposite way, like that, and wear it. We'll see. I'll play with it when I get ready to go out, but I don't want the underside showing. Even though when I clean it up, you shouldn't see anything but the bobbin thread. But this is it. So thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And I hope you got something out of this video. I hope that you understood how to set it up in Embrilliance, if that's the software that you have. It's not that difficult. For me, I watched the video a couple of times just so I could retain the steps. And once you get the steps done, then you can go ahead and do your curved lettering. And the one other thing I think I forgot to mention was to, if you choose to, print it out so you can have your placement on your hat. If that's what you want to do, you can print it out. I forgot to mention that. And also don't forget your water soluble stabilizer on top. So thank you for watching. If you have not subscribed, please do. Please give me a thumbs up. Hit the notification bell. Share this video. And then come back to watch more. So this is the end of part 2. So I have a 2-part series. Now, I'm considering adding a part 3 because I was looking for hats. Actually, I was looking for my visor. And what did I run across? Beanies. I've not done beanies either. So I'm thinking I'm going to do a video doing beanies, and I might get a visor and add that to it as well. And if I do get another sun straw hat and to redo, don't know if I'm going to, I'm thinking about it. If I do, I'll just show you the end result so you can see if there's a difference between doing it with the water soluble stabilizer versus the way it came out. I might even change the font to this particular font since it did stitch out so well, and I don't know if it was the font issue or not. I don't know. But anyway, that's what's coming up. So keep watching. Thank you for watching on my video today. Until next time, bye.